There's one thing that video games from 30 years ago and video games from the present day have in common. No matter how hard game developers try to keep things in shape, players will somehow find a way to break things. Glitches are present in pretty much every game out there, and in today's list, we'll be taking a look at the top 10 biggest video game glitches that totally broke the game. Rumor has it, if you like this video and subscribe to ArcadeCloud, you will be given the instructions on how to activate the real-life money glitch, giving you unlimited real-world money. So don't forget to like and subscribe. And maybe also find a really good lawyer because, yeah, sure, limited real-world money, but technically that's counterfeiting still. I'm just saying.
Number 10. Missing No. Pokemon Red and Blue.
To start off this list of leaks, we're going to travel back in time to the very first Pokemon games that were ever released to take a look at what might very well be the most famous glitch in gaming history. Missing No. Found in Pokemon Red and Blue, Missing No is a strange creature that is encountered easiest through something known as the Old Man glitch. Now, you can't do this glitch straight away. First, you have to visit Cinnabar Island and know how to fly. Once you have fulfilled both of those requirements, you can hightail it over to Viridian City and talk to a man found in the northern area of the city. You have to let him teach you how to catch a Pokemon and then fly straight over to Cinnabar Island. While here, you have to surf on the eastern coast of the island. But there is a trick here. You can't go off swimming wherever you like. You have to stick to the side of the island like glue. From here, you might encounter random Pokemon with some pretty weird levels. But now and then, you might in fact encounter the mysterious Missing No. Now, you might not have known this, but Missing No actually comes in a few different forms. There's the Missing No that is most often displayed in videos and fan works, the one that looks like a backwards L made of writing. There's also a spooky ghost, a Kabutops skeleton, an Aerodactyl skeleton, a bunch of orange and black fragments of code, and a big question mark. Missing No isn't meant to exist in the world of Pokemon, and because of that, having it in your party can cause things to go a little strange. Missing No can actually go over level 100. It can learn some moves multiple times, it can evolve, and it has the highest attack stat in Red and Blue, though that is offset by having the weakest defense stat. But beware, according to Nintendo, it can actually corrupt your game if you decide to catch it. There is one other thing that Missing No does when you catch it. For some reason, upon capturing the mystery monster, the 6th item in your bag will be duplicated by 128, so long as you don't have more than 128 before doing the glitch. It's a pretty easy way to get unlimited items, well, if you don't mind the risk of a corrupted game.
Number 9. Land Sharks Crisis.
The Crisis series has always been respected for its technological and graphical quality. The earlier games in the series still look incredible to this very day, but even games that look as incredible as Crisis does can have some pretty crazy issues from time to time. Sharks are terrifying at the best of times, and in Crisis, they are used to keep you in on the island where the game takes place. If you stray out into the ocean surrounding the island, then hordes of sharks will swarm around you, eventually overwhelming you and taking you out. That sounds fun. The issue is, these sharks are a mess of bugs and glitches. If you try to shoot at them from the shore, then the sharks are going to start getting a little bit angry at you, and they'll start swimming in your direction. Then they'll manage to get up onto the beach itself. Normally, that would be a problem for a sea creature without legs, but the sharks from Crisis find the land just as easy to swim around on as the water. So it doesn't stop them at all. So now you have a horde of angry land sharks that no longer care about the boundaries of the map, trying to hunt you down. Somehow, the sharks ended up being even more dangerous than the aliens you're actually trying to fight.
Number 8. Shopping Cart Launches Fortnite Battle Royale.
When shopping carts were first added to Fortnite Battle Royale, it's safe to say that everyone was a little bit concerned. Vehicles had never been in Fortnite before, and Epic Games had gone as far as to claim that they would never add vehicles to the game unless they served some unique or novelty purpose. But then we all got to play with them, and we could see that the carts were actually pretty fun. They didn't really mess with the balance of the game at all, and they made getting around the map a much more interesting affair. Especially when they sent you soaring into the air, across the map, and into the death barrier of the ocean. Happens. When the shopping carts came out, they weren't exactly the most stable of items, and it was pretty easy to make them freak out completely. This often led to the shopping carts forgetting what gravity was and floating in the air for a short while. Now that by itself might be fine, until you get launched up into the sky to what feels like faster than light speed, way off into the distance of the map. These glitches were so bad that Epic Games actually deleted the carts from the game multiple times before they eventually managed to get them working as intended.
Number 7. Wrong Romance Dragon's Dogma.
Dragon's Dogma is a pretty awesome game, released in 2012 for the PS3 and Xbox 360, and later ported to the PC, the PS4, and the Xbox One. It's a hack-and-slash action RPG that throws you into the fantasy world of Grancis. You are human, the world is being threatened by an evil dragon, and you have to kick its butt back to wherever it is dragons come from. The game received some pretty favorable reviews, and the Japanese gaming magazine Famitsu even placed it into their Hall of Fame, giving praise to the combat systems in the game. Dragon's Dogma featured a pretty unique romance system. You could woo basically anyone in the game, and this system was fundamentally broken. The way you got to loving someone in Dragon's Dogma was basically by finding the NPC you had the highest friendship number with, and then assigning them as your love interest. The only issue is that your friendship number can be increased by simply talking to an NPC, and there are some NPCs that you have to talk an awful lot to. Take, for instance, the shopkeepers who you need to be friendly with to get their special items. If you talk to them enough, then the game will choose them as your primary love interest. So even if you are trying to get with the girl of your dreams, if you talk to your blacksmith a little too much, then they may end up with the final fight cutscenes alongside you, which might not exactly be what you were expecting when you set out on your quest. It's not bad, it's just not what you were expecting.
Number 6. Windows Deletion. Pool of Radiance. Ruins of Myth Draenor.
So far, the glitches we have talked about have been game-breaking, but for the most part, fairly harmless. Like, you could probably just reboot your game and then move on. This glitch from Pool of Radiance, Ruins of Myth Draenor takes things to the next level when it comes to game-breaking glitches, threatening to not just break your game, but in fact your entire computer. If you tried to delete the game from your computer, then Pool of Radiance would actually take some of your computer's system files with it. What made this even worse is that when installing the game, the install program could actually break and force a reboot of your PC. After that, the only options are to leave the game partially installed and unplayable, or you could uninstall and then brick your PC. Luckily, Ubisoft patched this one pretty quickly, but it ruined a lot of gamers' fun back in 2001. And this was 2001. You know, computers definitely not as advanced as now.
Number 5. Stuck in a Room. Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess.
If you have ever played The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess on the Wii, then you might have encountered this game-ruining glitch. In the big cannon room, there is a man named Shad. Before you'd save and quit the game, you have to go and talk to this man. If you leave the game before talking to him, he simply won't be there when you reload the game. And then you'll be stuck in the room forever. Nintendo were pretty understanding about this bug, but in the time before big patches to fix game-breaking bugs, there wasn't really anything that they were able to do. The company did offer players the chance to mail in discs that had the issue on them back to the company, and they would send you back a fixed copy. The issue with this approach is the fact that if you encountered the glitch, it was already too late. And if you are aware of it, then you could simply avoid making the mistake in the first place, so sending off a replacement is pretty pointless.
Number 4. Memory Formatting. PlayStation Underground Holiday 2004 Demo Disc.
Before the holiday season in 2004, members of Sony's US fan club, known as PlayStation Underground, were receiving copies of the Holiday 2004 Demo Disc, a disc which had demos for a whole bunch of upcoming PS2 games loaded onto it. One of these games was Beautiful Joe 2, a cel-shaded action platformer beat-em-up game that saw the characters Joe and Sylvia battling off alien invaders. Unknown to all those Sony fans at the time, playing the game was actually a terrible mistake. If you played the game on that demo disc, there was a glitch that could erase all of the saved games on their memory cards that were connected to the game, and the only way to avoid this from happening was to take out the memory cards from your PlayStation. This one doesn't break its own game, but it does break the save files of any game connected to the PS2 while the glitch is triggered.
Number 3. Headless Soldiers. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 was never remembered as the best Call of Duty game of all time. It came straight out after the blockbuster Black Ops and had to also follow up the success of Modern Warfare 2. Some may consider this an impossible task, and it definitely wasn't helped by this glitch in Capture the Flag mode of the game. If you played Capture the Flag and you managed to pick up the flag and then kill someone on the enemy team, the player would actually respawn without their head. Like, where their head would usually be on their model, it just wasn't there anymore. Then, if you were to see one of the headless players, you were immediately booted from the game. Wow. It made the Capture the Flag playlist completely unplayable, not that many people enjoy the mode anyway. Hey, that's a lot of shade to Capture the Flag.
Number 2. Cops in Cutscenes. Grand Theft Auto 5.
Grand Theft Auto 5 is probably considered one of the most ambitious games of the last generation, but unfortunately for those at Rockstar, that ambition came with a pretty hefty price. In GTA 5, all of the cutscenes actually happen within the game itself. They aren't separate from the events of the game world, displayed by a video or anything like that. They actually happen in the game. This had a pretty unexpected and unfortunate side effect. One of the constant annoyances that have persisted throughout the entire Grand Theft Auto franchise is the cops. Those who uphold the law and stop you from having any real fun. In GTA 5, if you were still being chased by the cops and then you started a cutscene, the cops didn't wait until the cutscene was over before shooting at you. Important scenes of the game could be completely ruined by the boys in blue, firing a hail of bullets into the main characters right in the middle of cutscenes. It totally broke immersion and probably caused a lot of people to have to restart missions from the beginning. But hey, at least it was still pretty funny. And it didn't break your game. That's good. You could be a headless soldier. Huh?
Number 1. 3 times llama loot and 2 times chest loot exploit. Fortnite Battle Royale.
Fortnite is still one of the biggest games in the world, and it gets updated with new changes and content every single week. The only issue with this rapid upload schedule is that glitches can often get overlooked, and sometimes they can completely change the face of the game. One of the more recent game-breaking glitches in Fortnite is a glitch regarding loot, which actually allows you to pull 3 times the amount of loot from llamas and 2 times the amount of loot from chests. The loot llama glitch is incredibly easy to pull off. All you have to do is run up to a supply llama, throw down a shockwave grenade, and then go back to the llama to pick up your goodies. You should have automatically spawned triple the amount of loot than you would have usually done. The double chest loot is pretty easy too, though a little different. All you need to do is slide up next to your chest, throw a shockwave grenade in front of yourself, and then fly straight through the chest. Before you know it, you'll have more loot than you can shake a pickaxe at. So that was our list of the top 10 biggest video game glitches of all time. Do you think we were right with this list, or are there some crazier video game glitches out there that we haven't included? Make sure you leave us a comment to let us know. I'm sure that there's some pretty good game-breaking bugs out there in games that we have never even heard of before. Oh, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to ArcadeCloud for even more awesome gaming videos. And also a ton of real unlimited money. A lot of money. I'm just saying, just subscribe and wait by your mailbox.